Good day, everyone. Again, this is my Macashalin Sarmiento of BSEd Mathematics 1. I was given the task to report about the Module 21 entitled Physical Development of the Intermediate Schoolers, which is under the Unit 5, the Late Childhood. So, the content of this module was being brought by Heidi Grace L. Burabo, and she is a successful Doctor of Philosophy. And as we go through our topic, we should be able to identify the different physical characteristics of intermediate schoolers, discuss ways and practices which will aid children in successfully developing physically, and design a simple exercise program appropriate for intermediate school children. First, let us define late childhood or the intermediate schoolers. What comes to our mind when we hear the word intermediate? Is it a paper? The intermediate paper? Definitely, that's not what it means in this lesson. Late childhood is generally defined as ages 9 through 12. Others may call this stage as preteens because the teenager starts with an age of 13 and the ages 9 to 12 are so-called preteens. Di pa sila ganap na teenagers but preparing to be one of the teenagers na, that's the preteens. Physical changes during this stage is fairly unpredictable among children in this age group. The steady and gradual changes happening in children at this stage, especially with their increasing familiarity with schoolwork and other possible activities, provide them with greater opportunity to develop their motor skill functioning. Under this, there are the different developments of the late childhood by means of their characteristics. So this thing is not new to us because we've been at this stage. And as we recall our preteen's life, we could really say that the developmental characteristics that Dr. Heidi studied and researched are based on facts. Before I forget, the developments of the intermediate schoolers are 4, namely physical development, social development, cognitive development, and emotional development. And my task belongs to physical development, but I am going to tackle also the developmental characteristics for us to understand more about this topic. So, these are the developmental characteristics of the late childhood. First is, it is the troublesome age. We couldn't deny that at the age of 9 to 12, we've encountered lots of troubles. And this is why children at this age must be accompanied well by their parents to avoid such troubles. Next is quarrelsome age. It is where we fight for our own ideas, maybe because there are changes in terms of our perspective. And it is also considered as critical point or period because we learn to have gangs or circle of friends. Again, parents are responsible for educating their children on whom to have friends. I mean, yung tamang pagpili lang ng kakaibiganin because sabi nga kanina, this age is a critical period kasi kung ano yung nakasanayan natin sa age na ito, magpapatuloy yon at madadala natin yon as we grow old. As the children grow old, kung basagolero ka, then madadala mo yon hanggang lumaki ka. And it could only be changed with the presence of maturity. It is also called as the creative age and the play age. So under the physical change is the height and the weight, of course. So we will tackle about the factors affecting their height and weight. What could be the factor affecting their height and weight? Based on my research, it could be genetic. It's in their genes, kaya mataas or maliit ang isang bata or their weight, diba? Next is the appetite. Yung gana nila sa pagkain kaya mabilis sila lumaki. And lastly, the metabolism. This is for the weight. how their metabolism function will affect their height and also their weight. Intermediate schoolers have more control over their bodies than they have when they were in primary school. They become more active and have greater liberty to choose the hobbies or sports that they want to get involved in. Children in their late childhood stage seem to be in a hurry. They get so busy with their schoolwork, interacting with their friends, exploring other possible activities, but this period of physical development seems to take on a leisurely pace. This may also be the stage when puberty may begin. So again, puberty is the period in which the body undergoes physical changes and becomes capable of sexual reproduction. The early puberty o maagang pagdadalaga o pagbibinata. On the average, girls are generally as much as 2 years ahead of boys in terms of physical maturity, although these developments may be determined by how close a child is to puberty. Puberty may begin early, budding breasts for girls, which is the initial sign of puberty. Some girls may also start with their menstrual period as early as 8 and some as late as 13. Puberty changes start when the brain triggers the production of sex hormones. Here are some changes that may happen to both girls and boys during early puberty. Let's move on to the changes of the girl's breast and its difference with the changes of the boy's breast. So for the girls, small lumps form behind the nipple may occur, which sometimes could be painful but eventually the pain goes away. But it is normal for one breast to develop more slowly than the other. And for the boys may also have swelling on their chest but tends to go away within a year. Pero as per observation din, may mga lalaking lumalaki din yung breast. Next is the genitals or the private parts of both girls and boys. For the girls, the vulva starts and increase a bit. The vagina gets longer. The uterus gets bigger. And for the boys, subtle increase in testicle size, penis and scrotum start to grow, and semen may be released when he is awake or even during sleep. And lastly, the hair growth, or the pubic hair. For the girls, hair will start to grow in the armpits and pubic areas. And for the boys, hair will start to grow and become thicker. New hair will also grow in the armpits and pubic areas around genitals, and also may start developing chest and facial hair. So for the height, weight, and muscle development, during the late childhood, a child's weight on average may be 2.3 to 3.2 kilograms per year. So this is based on research. Weight increase was mainly due to the increase in size of skeletal and muscular system as well as several organs. An average of 2.5 inches in height and an average of an inch in head circumference each year. Children during this stage may experience growth spurts, sudden boosts in height and weight, which are usually accompanied by increase in appetite and food intake. Many of the bodily structures like the liver, muscles, skeletons, kidneys, and face follow a normal curve of development for both girls and boys. Other structures like the brain, intestines, and other organs and bodily systems mature at their own time, thus affecting growth patterns. Increase in body fats also occurs in preparation for the growth and occurs during adolescence. The body fat occurs earlier in girls and is greater in quantity. Girls appear to be chubby, while boys tend to have more lean body mass per inch of height than girls. These are all normal part of development. This difference in body composition become more significant during adolescence. Next is under the motor skill. During this stage, movements or the muscles and bones become more coordinated. At the age of 10 or 11 years, most children will have learned to play sports like swimming, basketball, volleyball, and running. These physical skills become a source of pleasure and great achievement to the children. In activities that use large muscle activities, boys tend to be more nimble than girls. Although a significant increase in physical activity may occur in this stage, children in their late childhood is far from being physically mature. They become overwhelmed when sitting or standing too long than when running, jumping, or playing actively. This is because they need time to refine their skills, so they prefer active rather than passive movements. From the age of 8, children show greater coordination in writing. Their fine motor skills develop gradually, which may be evidenced by the size of the letters and numbers. Font size becomes smaller and are more even. They may even produce good quality crafts or have greater control in playing instruments like the piano or guitar. In these skills, girls usually surpass the boys. And lastly, the insecurities. So, we teenagers are not the only one who's insecure about our physical looks. Also, the preteens are insecure. Lalo na ngayon yung mga new generation or the so-called millennials. As their physical look develops, insecurity also exists. At this stage, children may become very concerned about their physical appearance. Girls especially may become concerned about their weight and decided to eat less, nagda-diet. Boys may become aware of their structure and muscle size and strength. Since this stage can bring about insecurities, the parents and teachers must be very conscious about their dealings with these children. Appropriate activities must be designed so that children will be guided into the right direction. Children must be given opportunities to engage themselves in worthwhile activities that promote healthy growth, give them a feel of accomplishment, and reduce the risk of certain diseases. As we're about to become parents, siguro mga 10 years from now, I don't know, but we will probably be one of it. And we, the future parents or educators, are responsible for educating the children and parenting them. So these are the implications to child care, education, and parenting. During this stage, children are more physically active. However, they still have a lot of physical maturity to undergo. Here are some points to consider for healthcare providers, the teachers, and the parents. First is, provide ample opportunities at home and in school for physical exercise and sports. Next is, encourage children to participate in varied worthwhile activities until they are able to discover the ones they are interested in. Third, Develop a strong emotional attachment with your children so as to address any insecurities and social concerns. And lastly, since children in this stage have more control over their eating habits, provide them with healthier food choices. Being healthy physically greatly helps children in their late adulthood to become successful in their everyday undertakings. Design a simple exercise program appropriate for children ages 9 to 12 or the preteens. Divide your program into 3 parts, which is first part is the warm-up activities. It may include breathing exercise and stretching routine. The part 2 is the exercise proper. It may consist of 3 to 4 sets of exercises which may focus on the following areas: the body balance and posture, the endurance, the muscle strength, or the agility. The part 3 is the cooling down or quieting activity. This includes another set of breathing and stretching exercises. So, the designed exercise could be as simple as the aerobic exercises, which is taught in school, the Zumba, Taibo, and a lot more. So, that's the end of my given topic. But before that, let me tell you this. As a future parents, or let's just say as a future educator, in order to help intermediate school children develop physically or at their early puberty stage, we must be responsible enough to teach them the right thing to do and engage them into a positive thoughts. For as what I've said earlier, preteens is the most crucial period of aging. Thank you and God bless.